Ladies and gentlemen, let's get underway. Welcome to you all. Welcome to Ukraine House. Please give a big welcome to Vitaly and Vladimir. Great to see you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome to you. Let's begin with a general question. What's tougher, boxing or being mayor of Kiev?
First of all, good afternoon, everybody. I actually give the answer for this question many times. Times easy to be heavyweight champion of the world than the mayor of Kiev, because as heavyweight champion of the world you have one opponent, and as mayor of Kiev you have thousands of challenges, and you have to show performance every day, and to be always in the form and deliver good performance for people who expect good result from you.
Now you both went into boxing. You both became world heavyweight champions. But he went into politics. You didn't. Why didn't you go into politics?
Доброго дня всем. You know, the older brother started with boxing. I was someone that was observing, and I used it as a tool to travel, because I really was excited about traveling. So I achieved my goal. I'm traveling a lot. I actually retired last year. And now he's a politician. You never say never, but I would say, like, for now, one politician in the family is enough. Later on we will see. But as I said, never say never. So things might change. Things might change.
That's a challenge already. Yes. Now, your mother would never let the two of you fight. But maybe she would have let the two of you stand an election against each other?
You know what? In birthday of my brother, so many flowers to my mom. I know it's without brother, the life will be so boring, and I'm very happy. I never.
It's mutual, bro.
It's good. We help each other, and if we doing the same thing, I don't know. First time I say the Vladimir say always no. Today's never say no. He told us.
You heard it here first.
If you, I know it's Vladimir already outside of the politics, do it a lot for Ukraine.
Now I want to come on to what's happening in Kiev and in Ukraine, but before I do, is it you watch your brother? You're in business. I think you work out of Kiev and Hamburg in Germany a lot too. Has he got the tougher job than you, or is business tougher than politics?
Well, I will not call myself as a businessman, because it's probably something else. What I do, I'm trying to enable people to achieve certain things and goals in life.
Let me interrupt just for a minute. Sir, could we have some quiet at the back here? I have two very good friends here who don't like noise at the back. That's just a small warning.
If you're not listening, you have a problem. Yeah. You got it.
I may have to ask them to come and visit you. So
someone make a joke. This Klitschko can switch on the sound and also the same time light.
Exactly. So I would just say let that be a warning to you, and if that doesn't work, I will personally come and deal with you. Please, you were saying about business and politics.
I would say probably not business, but enabling people to achieve their goals in life, and that's why I have created 4 years ago a method which is called Face the Challenge. So you have to show the face to your next challenge. What is challenge? In other words, it's a problem. The philosophy of the matter is called challenge management, change innovation management, and self-management, and I have been sharing this method at university in St. Gallen here in Switzerland in German language. I launched the program and represented it last year at Harvard, so we'll continue to do that, as well as 2 PhD students researching this topic and making out of my practical theory scientific law. So there are a lot of people, a lot of executives that went through the program of challenge management, and they became enable in achieving goals in their lives and make out of problems challenges. So I don't have problems in life. I have only challenges. So I wish you're going to have it too. Why? Because even in the wording, there's certain meaning. Problems freezes you. Challenges, it's like a game. It's like back in the childhood. You just want to solve it.
Now, the technology your brother's talking about, you think is relevant to running a city like Kiev. You talk about smart cities, making cities. What is a smart city? I mean, I always thought a smart city was Oxford or Cambridge or Harvard. What's a smart city?
We're talking about IT technology. We're talking about know-how, and we're talking about
Digitalization.
Digitalization. Sorry.
Hard to say, hard to do.
That's true.
And how is starting? We listen about that a lot. We starting just 4 years ago. You know what from we start? We starting from here, from Davos. I make a meeting with member of board SAP company, is the biggest German IT company, and we're talking about open budget. Always, as mayor of Kiev, you have challenges. You have problems, no challenges, because Vladimir told us not problems, challenges. What we have in very short period of time fixed. Main problem, we're talking about corruption in Ukraine. True transparency, through open process, we can do that. And the main point, a couple of years ago and still today, it's to work, it's totally open. Open budget. After meeting here in Davos, in 4 months, work in Kiev. All income, all spending in city administration, district administration, every school, every preschool, every building, the people can see that. Every day, people, more than 2,000 people watching, every one of you can see where go the money.
Where the money is being spent.
Yeah, where is money spent. And also, Kiev was the first city in Ukraine. We call this program, we call this,
say it in Ukrainian.
Прозоро.
Transparency. So this is what you mean.
Transparency.
Open.
We call in Ukraine Prozoro. We starting this program first in our city, and in 3 years we was the first city in Prozoro. We save already 4 billion hryvnia with this program. And also I try always to implement new things. The next challenge what I have to implement the wishes of people, of citizens. If I don't do that, they next election vote for another one. Another mayor will be in Kiev. That's why I have to give the answer for challenges. We're fighting against totally open and use experience of our friends from Europe, how fighting against corruption. Also, safety. Safety is very important, main point for every Ukrainian. I was in Israel and see how the program safety work in Israel is very impressive. I come to Kiev, give a task to our IT department, and right now the people from Israel come to Kiev and they really impressed because in some direction we do this program much better than in Israel. So many opposition make critique. We spend so much money for safe city.
This is personal safety.
It's personal safety
of the citizens.
The critique stopped. Maybe if Kiev citizens here, just 1 year ago, woman lose a child and have maybe emotional decision take to crazy idea, kidnap the children from preschool. She don't know, it's every school, every preschool in Kiev with video cameras, with face recognition, and it's worked well. And our system in 3 hours show the woman buy the pampers in pharmacy. In 6 hours, the child was back to parents, back to family. And after that, the people understand how effective work the system. And also, we want to tell to everyone who have just idea to break the rules, definitely he take responsibility for his illegal activity. And that's why the Safe City program work well. I can talk hours long about many programs what we implement in our city, but very important to give answer to give citizens what the priority right now. And the next question right now, energy efficiency in Kiev, because the the gas prices going up, the people pay, some people half of his month's salary
on their energy bills.
For energy bills. And right now we implement this system, energy saving system, and also city pay 70% and for renovation of building it's work very well, and people pay just 30%. It's work also, and also smart decide when we spend energy, and it's also work well and our help. We doesn't have influence in gas prices, but we can save the energy, and that's why Kiev work. It's the next challenge and next question of Kiev citizens to me as mayor of Kiev. And sorry for long speech. I can explain so many different directions. It's e-health, it's medicine, work well, no lines. You can choose your doctor. We right now touristic direction. You can with your smartphone receive so much. Cheers! I got so many stories about historical buildings, about history of our Kiev. We transportation system also hours long. I can talk. I just a couple of hours ago talk about that with mayors. We talked. We sit together, and also digitalization. It's a very important point for whole world. And every mayor, every city have special challenges and have to implement fast as possible in reality.
You've been working on this technology, and you've also got an ethos, an approach to things. You've been working, I think, with German telecom, with the private sector. Tell us a bit about that, but also explain, is it relevant to what your brother is doing in Kiev too, in the public sector?
I believe the whole world, in a certain way, needs to understand digitalization. And obviously, that's the first key. There are a lot of IT companies having their products that have created, and they're really sophisticated products. But people don't understand why they should use it, why they should buy certain cell phones and certain programs. And certain cities need to get smart city and implement it, or open budgets, implement it into their system. I think the first step is literally understand why we need it, why we should do it. Simple example, middle class in Germany is so sophisticated, but not really digitalized yet. So the economy of Germany is great, but it could be even better. So, and there's generations of people who are passing businesses, and then you have a company producing silverware, and I was actually talking to this person. He said, like, Vlad, what do I need this digitalization for? Why do I need these products? Why do I need online shop? I don't need it. My company has been for over 100 years, and we've been doing just fine.
Why change?
You know, I have the best quality ever, or my company. So, well, the person doesn't really understand that nowadays with the technology, you can produce the same silverware. How can you digitalize silverware? Oh, yeah, you can. So you can buy it not just driving into the shop, because people counting the most important thing in life, not the money only, but the time. Because our time is limited. If we spend time driving and just losing time during the day, we'll be not efficient enough. So same companies producing silverware in more or less same quality, but they're getting in online shops, in delivery services, Amazon. And then everything simplified, and the customers will definitely pick that brand and not the one that they need to actually spend their time, and not just the gasoline and what else on transportation. So it's important to understand. That's why this method is so important. It works like a bridge between German telecom in this case and the middle class. Because sometimes, so to say, monster, as German telecom is, says like, buy this, do that, this product is great, but it's not going to be received. Even if it's going to set in the same language, but it's not really understood. And I think the method is working like a bridge between the end consumer and the company and the products of the company. So I was thinking about it, and I was looking at the Ukrainian map, and I was like, okay, I'm coming from the sport, and I know that we have a lot of talents in sports. And there's a lot of parents that are trying to get their children being involved in the sports, because sport has the power to change your life, literally, and your attitude and your character. So I decided,
For example.
I decided, like, well, let me digitalize the experience about sports. So I have founded Mixed Sport, where every person that has experience and expertise as a coach, for example, for swimming, boxing, light athletic, whatever you name it, skateboarding, wakeboarding. I want to share my experience and say, hey guys, I'm the coach. I know what to do. I need you. So even like a couple of months ago, people were just getting somewhere to the neighbors and were sharing this information. Is your child really talented? Does he want to get to wakeboarding, for instance? Oh yeah, he is. Like, it's gonna cost like, you know, $1 an hour, so I can teach them. So the person was, this coach was struggling to get the clients, even though he's a really great expert. On the other hand, the family has children, or someone from the family wants to actually get in wrestling, but doesn't know where it is, who is the coach, what days of the week they work, what times. So now, in this mixed sport, every person can find their interest, what they're looking for. And we're collecting all the data from both sides, so for someone who is searching and someone who's actually giving it and providing the services. And this digital bridge is accumulating all the data. So now we get even further artificial intelligence. So it's getting so fast, and the world is moving so fast, that it's actually going to simplify our life. It's going to make us great income. It's going to really satisfy our interests, whatever we're looking for. And obviously, such companies, IT companies, like, you know, the top 5 companies, they're also providing certain services. Obviously, we're using Google as well. So because Google Maps, and to find all of this, we can not have this all in our pocket. So we're using additionally, in a certain way of synergy, services from the other companies. So I launched this opportunity, I would say, because it's not really a business yet. Yeah, so it's going to take a couple of years to make it all profitable. But for now, it really simplifies and enable people. I was talking about enabling people to get the information they're looking for and share it too.
So when you hear your brother talking about this, is this relevant to your smart cities strategy?
For me, I have a challenge as mayor for main problem what we have to fix in very short period of time. Smart city program is huge in every direction of life, every interest. We can do it so many directions. It's very good. The government, city council, the city administration do it exactly what is important right now in this moment. Fight against corruption, safety, transportation system. And yes, of course, sport is also very important, and that's why it's very good. But sport have not so much priority right now if you ask people, but it's very important for the people, for citizens. And that's why it's very good. It's administration work.
It's getting as a priority as soon as you feel kind of ill or weak or not motivated. So actually, we talk about one thing, but we're subconsciously also, without knowing it, getting into the health department. Yeah. So, and it's getting like a snowball, you know.
Which is important for people.
Which is important and very profitable in all of this.
And that's why when I receive information, as Vladimir do that, also in digitalization, I was very surprised, positive surprised. We have to support and give the people to develop many directions and to unite everything to huge smart city system. Every Kyiv citizens have to be smart and use and enjoy the service what we present to him.
Why should people invest in Kiev? Why should foreign investment go to Kiev?
First of all, just information for you. It's the main point. The people accept result today, not tomorrow, after tomorrow. We listen too long. In some day we build a good future. People don't believe on politicians because politicians promising so much. And that's why I am very happy to be politician in Ukraine who not just talk, who already realized, developed and present so many projects in our city. I am very happy you ask about investment. The best investment, Vladimir talked about the children, the best investment into the children, that's why 1/3 of our budget is education. It's investment, but yes, we talk. You mean business investment? By the way, we built the last couple of years 22 preschool and 7 very modern schools. And I told it's not every private schools in the West have the great quality. It's our municipal school. Top level investment. I'm very happy. As mayor of Kyiv, give you information. Last year, 60% whole investment in Ukraine coming to capital. It's good. I present myself always for every investment convention meetings. I present myself as bodyguard for every investors. I know it's very important for my political life because it's not invest just money. It's produce the jobs, pay taxes in our budget. And without investment, Kyiv doesn't have a future. I know how it's important that, and that's why for investment is priority. We build Kyiv Investment Agency, so many projects we prepare, and very important investor have my personal cell phone because I told I'm bodyguard for his business, and I'm very happy for last year, for 4 years. We bring smart city from Davos. For 3 years, for 2 years, we bring the Uber, and we have long discussion with IKEA. And last year, IKEA decided to open 2 trade houses in Kyiv. It's great signal for investors if IKEA ready to work in Kyiv, in capital of Ukraine.
If you don't mind, maybe just that's the view of the politician, and I think just on the view of a person that is looking for business. Nowadays, the Western markets are overheated, and we know that. So on each investment that you're looking for, you're going to get really a little bit back, or slow, returning the investment. So in Ukraine, we have population over 40 million people. People are very smart, well-educated, great in work, we have such, just a few to name, Silicon Valleys. Snapchat invested in Odessa with the Silicon Valley, started there. We have great airplanes as the biggest cargo airplanes. So in avionics, we're pretty good in aerodynamics and all of this is related to that. Not to forget, Ukraine is, in general, talented people. All of us using WhatsApp. So co-founder of WhatsApp is Ukrainian guy, Jan Kum. So we can go on and on and on and on that the nation is talented, but also for the money you're going to spend for people that are working for you, you spend less money than in any Western country in the Western world. So if you get to real estate, it's relatively cheap compared to the Western world. In the sector of any business that could possibly coming into your interests, you're getting it all in less spendings and in greater returns. Yes, of course, geopolitical crisis that people concerned, economical, political, it's all there. But even though it's there, it's getting solved. And digitalization is one of the keys to fight bureaucracy and fight corruption. GDP is growing, even though we have those problems. And I think nowadays, to invest now and step into the Ukraine market, you will spend less money than you're going to do it in a year or 2 or 5.
But do you still have a big selling job to do? We live in a world now where everything is a brand. Everything is an image. And a lot of people, particularly in Europe, Western Europe, they don't know much about Ukraine. And when they think of Ukraine, they think of TV news with Donbass and all the rest of it. They don't know about what you're saying. Is there not still a selling job to be done?
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. And I can feel it right now because I do live in the plane. That even a year ago, it was less people traveling into Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, planes are overfilled. And I tell you why. European Song Contest that was staged in Kyiv, Ukraine last year. Thank you for making it successful.
For last year.
I'm sorry, yeah, 2 years ago. So last year we had Champions League finals in Kyiv, which went amazingly well. And
wasn't there a problem with Liverpool?
Okay, let's not open up that kind of box. What I'm saying, there are a lot of tourists that came in and they were wondering how actually great the city and the country is and how great the people are. And it's not as bad as it's actually written in newspapers and you heard in the news. And people are getting more comfortable with that since they visited the country. So tourism, I think, is very attractive also for the future investments. So I believe such events, as I just mentioned before, should happen more often in the city of Kyiv, and not only, but also in Ukraine in general, and that's going to attract investment.
Thank you, brother. Your attention, just 3 years ago, just 1 million tourists was outside of the country. Last year, we have already 3 million tourists outside of the country. It's our main goal to build good infrastructure in everyone. My first job, everybody know me as sportsman, nobody know. My first job, I working as guide and make excursion almost 4 years long in my city. I know the history of Kyiv and I'm enjoy. The people come to Kyiv, they're afraid and see the European city. Great city, great, friendly, open, gas-friendly people live there, and everyone who comes to city loves so much city. That's why we invest right now so much money for our city, for infrastructure, touristic infrastructure, пейзажная аллея, аллея художников, new funicular. By the way, funicular, 2 small trains, 3 million people.
On the trains.
In this 2 small trains use funicular in the year. We build right now the bridge, actually, which planned 100 years ago, which connected Vladimirsky Hill and with Arka Дружба Народов. Friendship Arka. And we do it a lot of changes in this year also. So many plans. It's not just to talk. People see that. People see the changes, how a city change. For example, the last 3 years, 800 new roads we rebuilt and make new asphalt, and European quality of roads is guarantee of 5 years. I told 22 preschools, 7 schools. I'm very happy. 60% of investment come to the Kiev. I'm very happy in Kiev, highest month salary in the country, and we have good results. Last year, 200 people, 200 citizens in Kiev more, because people coming through to the region. Everybody want to live the Kiev because Kiev give good service of life, and my main priority as mayor of Kiev, deliver that for every Kiev citizens and for everyone who visit Kiev as guest.
And I believe numbers don't lie. Just to add a little bit, 2 years ago, just at Kiev airport, it's actually called not Kiev, Borispol, which is the next city next to Kiev, were 10.5 million. A year ago, it was 12.5 million. This year, the expectation is going to be over 14 million people.
That's number of passengers going through the
number
airport.
Of passengers going through the airport. So the numbers are going up.
Fast.
And fast, rapidly. And it's great. So that's why I just want to say, you know, nowadays, if you step in the Ukrainian market, relatively cheap, you're going to make it. In a year or two, forget about it. It's going to be more expensive.
He's making a pitch for your city.
That's the truth.
Great representative of Kiev. And everybody, you know what? It's my brother. My brother came to Kiev and told to we meet each other and told, I play the mayor last 2 hours in the plane. Everybody come to me and everybody give me advice, and some people complain, you have to fix that and that. I explain to everyone, I'm so sorry. I'm the brother, I'm not the mayor. You have to tell to your brother. That's why I'm very happy. I'm very happy have a great representative of Klitschko family.
With the answer, I'm not the mayor. Did you resign? No, I've never been.
You're not going to escape that, I don't think. I'm going to take some questions from the audience in a minute. Get your questions ready. Let me ask you this now, because you've come from sport and into politics. You've been mayor since 2014, I think it is. You were re-elected in 2015 on a bigger share of the vote. But do you sometimes get frustrated with politics, with trying to run things? You know, you press a button and nothing happens. It's like pushing string uphill at times.
I'm very nervous if I listen. It's some part of Ukrainian people told все пропало, ганьба, зрада, нічого не вийде. It's mean it's nothing happens. It's nothing will, nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. It's very pessimistic. It's very important to have a goal. It's very important to have a dream. It's very important to work very hard. And any goal, any dream you can make reality. As small boy, I told to my friends in school, and one day I beat Mike Tyson, I will be heavyweight world champion. Everybody make jokes about me, nobody believe. I believe in myself. I did that. I was a heavyweight champion, the same belt what has Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. I told I will be mayor of Kiev. Nobody believe I getting mayor, but mayor is not the goal. The goal to make from Kiev European, real European standards of life. I do that, and I have a lot of result. And I have a dream, and alone, I'm strong. I'm 6'7", 250 pounds. But you alone, you can do it, nothing. You need a team. You need the people who share with you vision. And I love the people who have take a challenge, and do it everything to change. Because we are responsible for our city. We are responsible for our country. And not just to talk, do it. And we actually, starting from digitalization. I have
the same trouble.
And in 3 years.
But I can say it in Ukrainian.
In 3 years.
Ukrainian.
One second. Contact center. It's done. United Register in Kiev is done. That data center done. Kiev residence card done. System of urban financial and operation management done. Unified geography information system and many different direction. And also for people who told Kiev bad and nothing happens, Kiev became the fifth city in the world to launch the contactless bank cards payment in the metro system. Just a couple of months, 25 million people already use that. It's e-tickets. We implement in this year. It's our challenge for this year.
But what's the big thing that you want to do that you haven't yet done? What's the big thing that you still need to do?
I told that. My challenge to make Kiev European city, Ukraine is European country. And many steps, I can say 1, 2, 3 steps, many steps what we have to doing. Every day I'm very happy to open new houses, to new buildings, to new preschool, new schools, new parks, and it's very important. Never stop and never stop dynamic of changes. In Kiev is great example for another cities of Ukraine. And I told it's our budget growing up. It's every year in 20-30%. Right now, more and more investment coming to Kiev. We have very good macroeconomic numbers in our city. Its dynamic is very positive. People expect from me as politician result, and main challenge for us. We have to give answer. Is our success, economical, political success, the best answer for our friends, for our citizens, and also for our enemies? Our success is the best answer.
Questions? Yes, lady there. Have we got any microphones? Oh, there we go.
So Vitaly just said that sometimes people are quite negative, like depressing, hanba, and so on. So I would like to shift to another sector, which is more positive and more, like promising, which is innovation and venture capital investments. I'm Olga. I'm managing the Ukrainian Venture Capital and Private Equity Association, UVCA, which is one of the organizers. And what we do is unite investors from all over the world that are interested in different companies out of Ukraine, and also...
But what I'm looking for is a question, not a commercial.
It's not commercial. We're non-for-profit, and I don't.
It's still a commercial. What's the question?
So the question is: last year here in Davos, you said, Volodymyr, that you are investing in startups already. So how's been things so far, and what sectors are you interested in?
Yeah. Sport. I just explained about mixed sport. Obviously, I'm also venture capitalist and investing in different companies.
This part is interesting now for me, for many of us.
I explained already what I do in Ukraine with the sport and digitalization of the sport in Ukraine.
And that's an ongoing process.
I don't need to repeat it. I think we've heard about it.
I heard it.
Sport? No,
I heard it.
Yeah.
And that's an ongoing program for
it. It is ongoing program. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we're collecting more data. We're just providing more services. It's getting bigger and better and faster than we thought.
Okay,
Thankfully.
Another question?
Super.
Thank you so much for the question.
Question, yes, gentleman on the front.
Yes, I'd like to address this to the mayor and to his brother. You clearly have been very successful in running the city and in growing it and making it thrive and become an example. You're very young. you have a lot of experience. You know how to make these things happen. Let me put it very diplomatically. What advice would you offer, or what would you suggest would be the way to take this experience and this attitude and extend it around the country so that what you've been accomplishing in Kiev starts getting accomplished throughout Ukraine?
Okay. Would you like to answer that, Mr. Mayor?
I don't exactly understand your question. What exactly you mean?
Okay, let me...
What would you say?
That's what I was going to say.
Да. Вы знаете,
No, he's going to answer. Let him answer.
Last year, 200 people from region moved to Kiev and getting Kiev citizens. Many 200,000 people, and people talk. We are actually right now more than 2 million Ukrainian work in Poland. I was in Poland together with my brother. We was young and have a contract in Germany, driving through Poland, and we see how Poland changed. Right now, Poland, a great example for Ukraine. And Kiev city, capital of Ukraine, is a great example to another city. I am here not just as mayor of Kiev, also president of city association, Ukrainian City Association, and we share our experience, positive experience to another city. Yes, of course, Kiev is a wealthy island to compare to some depressive region in Ukraine, but we show the way, and we're ready to explain what they have to doing to change the quality of life they citizens. And it's work well, and smart city system work in many cities, and open budget also work not just in Kiev. We was the leaders, we was the first, but we work in other cities, and it's great example. We share our success, and we understand it's very, very important to another city, to another region, and always total open and ready to give advices and to help to another city what we actually doing.
I think you did a great job with that. To the extent that you can accelerate this process, I think the country would welcome it, and you're the man to do it.
All right. Gentleman at the back, if you shout, I'll repeat the answer, the question. Well, so you don't strangle somebody.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. It's Jim Brook, Ukraine Business News. I've talked to you before. When you were elected, within weeks, there were fears that Russian tanks could go down Krashatik. I'm talking about the summer of 2014. For most people here in this room, they read a lot about the Russian threat, the Ruskiy Groz. Could you give your evaluation of how Ukraine is defending itself against the Russian threat, and what are your prospects? What's the reality as far as you can see it?
Political question. First of all, we are thankful for everyone who helped Ukraine. We understand just all together we can stop the aggression. Sanction work well, very painful for the Russian Federation. Instead to invest in economy, they invest in army. And you're talking about tanks. We can talking about records. You're representative of media, right? Today. Can you imagine? One Russian channel. Russia Today have budget more than capital of Ukraine. You know why? Because Putin understand the main weapons right now, the media. True, objective information. They zombed million people in Russia. They try to zomb million people outside of Russia. And I told you, it's the main challenge right now. Be honest, this challenge sometime we lose. objective information. Information is the main weapons right now. I remember me. We born together with brothers in communist family. Our father was communist. Every week we have political lessons, political lessons. Explain about great our country, about bad capitalism, bad Europe, bad United States. I remember that. Remember brainwashing. What we have this time is work well, and that's why. Not about the tanks, not about the rackets, about information is main point right now and challenge for everyone, for us. Thank you.
Vladimir, let me ask you this. Do you, the mayor says Kiev's a great European city, wants it to be more great European city, Ukraine a European country. Can you count on the Europeans for that now? Do you worry that the Europeans have lost interest, that NATO is losing interest, that they have stepped back, that they pushed too far and are now stepping back? Do you feel, is Ukraine on its own, or are the European allies there?
No way, no. I guarantee Ukraine is not alone. I do live in the country and also outside, and spent plenty of time and had different talks and meetings with influential or less influential people. And so to make the whole picture, Ukraine is not alone. Ukraine is already has taken its own course. And we have allies. We're not alone. What is important for Ukraine nowadays is endurance. Endurance.
Like a boxer.
Beats a masterpiece and talent. Endurance does it. That's why I called my method Face. Face the challenge. And it's a challenge.
Sure.
Focus, agility, coordination, and endurance. Face. If you face and you have those qualities, that actually helped me as an athlete in the past, like 27 years of my active career as an athlete, and it helps a politician, a musician, scientist, a business person, whoever it is. So endurance is something that we need. And to answer your question, yes, we're not alone.
Okay. Question for this side? Yeah, these are the cheap seats, but we still let them have a question. Yes, lady in the front here. Why don't you come up here? There we go.
So yesterday we heard from one of the panelists about a good country and being a good country. So this is my question. What is Ukraine's contribution to the world? What is the unique thing that Ukraine brings? And he said it this way: why would a girl in Tajikistan care if Ukraine is on the map? So I personally think there's so much, but I'd love to hear your perspective.
Mr. Mayor.
Ukraine have unique geopolitical position. United West, East, South, and North. And we actually not use our geographic location and position, and I'm more than sure very soon we can do it that much more effective. Vladimir told about the numbers of people who fly through Borispol and transit country or transit airports. We can transit zone. We can do it a lot in our country. We actually have huge potential. The main potential, the people who live, very talented people. And if we talk about so many numbers of world famous people, talented people, not so many people know his first computer was developed in Kiev. It's the first helicopter developed in Kiev. By the way, we already will be ready to present very soon the not memorial, Sikorsky monument, very close to airport Sikorsky, and we do it a lot and invest a lot for a global world. What we have to do it? Yes, of course, the stability in Europe depend from Ukraine, one of the largest European country. If Ukraine is our goal of our friends, successful country, stable political and economic stable country, because instability of Ukraine can bring instability in the whole region, and that's why I'm very happy, thankful for everyone who support of Ukraine, especially for our friends who invest to Ukraine and do it everything to work together and to dream together and make dreams through Ukraine, a successful country. Global mission. It's a global mission for every Ukrainian right now. The peace have to be returned back to our country. It's global goal and dream for every Ukrainian, for short term. And long term also, I think so, is exactly the same vision. And we have huge potential to use our country. Can you imagine? In agriculture, 36% of world reserve of black soil in Ukraine. And after this number, you go to the deep in the country and see how poor live the people in the richest.
They have that rich soil, but they're not rich.
In the world, something wrong. We need technology. We need know-how. We need progress. We need stability. And we very hungry of success. That's why I work very hard in this position, because from Kyiv, from heart of Ukraine, depend whole situation in the country.
And I believe, like, honestly and simply speaking, shortly as well, Mayor mentioned it, people are the most valuable thing that Ukraine can give to the world. And think about the history. History always repeats, always. And this conflict and the war that we have is going to go to an end. And propaganda that works has been in the past. It never worked forever. It's going to be an end. And it's going to be different times. So if you look back in the history, through Ukrainian soil went so many people that wanted to conquer it. And Polish, and Swedish, and Turks, and Mongols, and Tatars, and Hungarians, and Germans, and Polish, and so we can make, like, that's why we're so beautiful. We're sexy. Everyone wants us. You know, how great is that? They want to put the pipelines through us to connect. We're the bridge. So we have such function of uniting and like working function as a bridge. So we're bringing things together. And of course, we just mentioned it, you know, the largest cargo airplane made by Antonov, you know, in Ukraine, the helicopters. What's up, people? Think about that. So, like, a lot. So people is probably the most valuable thing that Ukraine can give to the world, to answer your question.
Right. Thank you. Now, you are both clearly passionate about Kiev. You're both clearly passionate about Ukraine. So, Mr. Mayor, you've been mayor for 5 years. What's next?
The next, if I come to this position, the main challenge, the people in Troyeshina ask me, Vitaly, when will be metro in Troyeshina? I take these documents from Podolsk-Krasnoyarsk bridge. I was shocked. I was 8 years old. 1979, the plan to build the bridge. Until today, the bridge is not ready. So many mayors promising to build the bridge. I am not exception. I promise also. And I have to implement all my promising. And that's why My main goal, European life standards in our city. I do it a lot, have to do it also. And next year, re-election, if Kyiv citizens will be very happy with a result what I already did, and about my plans what I implement. Let's see, this year will be very important for Ukraine. President election, everybody talking right now, who will be the next president, who has a chance also.
Who will the next president be?
I'm not Nostradamus, I'm so sorry.
You're not running?
I'm not running right now. Maybe.
He's actually sitting, yeah, right.
Would you like to be president one day?
If I have success in Kyiv, I'm not accept. In one day, I come and tell it's exactly the same life standards as I did already in the capital. I am ready to do it in new city and in new village. Let's see. But first of all, I have to implement all promising what I give to Kyiv citizens. I have to a lot of things have to do and implement. I am very happy to be the politician. Not so many politicians who are ready to present so many projects what they already did. And let's see what brings this year. Who will be the next president? Who also parliament election? We have to not forget. From that depend a lot of things. And also, I want to repeat, the best answer for our friends, for our enemies, for every Ukrainian citizens, our success. That's why it's a main goal to be successful in our city, in capital of Ukraine.
And Vladimir, if your brother does move on, perhaps to another political position, what about running for mayor of Kiev, since everybody in the plane seems to think you are mayor? Why not just do it?
Running, you just answered the question you asked. Like, if people already think about it, like I'm kind of feel like what it feels like to be a mayor. You know, I have city council when I'm leaving the Kiev and then when I'm coming into Kiev in the plane. You know, because 2.5 hours or whatever, 2 hours, people getting bored and like, okay, let's ask questions to the mayor. Let's speak to the mayor. Yeah. Guys, I just, you know, speculations. I don't want to give any speculations. I want to answer or actually stand to my answers directly. So there are no plans for me to be in the politics, and I think that a politician, a certain way, is free, but not really. So there's certain, you know, there are parties, there are interests, there are certain things you need to accomplish certain rules and under these political rules. I think that I can change things the way I do and have done, and that's about enabling, not business, enabling. Let people actually feel strong and be confident and face the challenge.
I've also run out of time.
And you don't have problems.
Even in the challenge, we have time. I want to thank you all for coming here today to our fireside chat. I'm sorry we couldn't provide a fireside. We'll try and save up for one next year. But before you go, please give a very strong round of applause to Vitaly and Vladimir for being with us here today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for being here.
And
thank you.
Also, last short words. As mayor of Kyiv, I want to invite everyone welcome to capital of Ukraine. I promising as mayor of Kyiv, gas-friendly people, our gas friendship, I promising good, unforgettable, positive emotion of capital of Ukraine. Welcome to Kyiv, and you see in this spring and summer Kyiv change more to and will be much more beauty than before. We do it a lot of things to change our city, to make him pretty, beautiful, and ready to invite every one of you to capital of Ukraine. Welcome to Kyiv. Welcome to Ukraine. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Vitaly and Volodymyr, on behalf of the entire Ukraine House Organizing Committee, we'd like to sincerely thank you for joining us for a second consecutive year. You were with us last year at our inaugural year, and in fact, you were the first recipients ever of the Ukraine House Award. And we'd just like to thank you for your authenticity, for your attitude, for your commitment to the country. We admire what you're doing for the country, and we know it will continue. And we're just very grateful to you, so thank you very much. Mr. Andrew Neil, BBC and The Spectator, we met in London recently, and we had an over hour-long conversation about Ukraine. And we'd like to also thank you sincerely for being here and for your interest that you've taken to the country and to learning more about it. And we hope that this relationship continues. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here for Ukraine Invest Day. Thank you.